Hi, dear language learners. Today, let's talk about discipline and repetition. Dear Dr. Alex, how do you stay so positive and so motivated and so full of energy in the long run? That's one of the most frequent questions I get from my students. And yes, it is such an important question. They are rightly so asking this question because this is actually what distinguishes those that give up from those that become fluent really quickly in a really, really distinct matter because there's a detail. And this is what I call positive and joyful discipline that sets apart the mindset of fluency from those who just study the system of the language. I am not saying one is better than the other. I'm saying that if you want to really reach fluency fast, becoming perfect in the grammar does not help you. So bear with me, these next 10 minutes might change the way in which you study and might get you out of that intermediate plateau. Hi, I'm Dr. Alex. I'm a social psychologist and I'm a polyglot speaking four languages fluently and learning my fifth at the moment, which is Italian. So please also join me. I have lots of flashcards online for Italian study. If you are learning Italian as well, I would be more than happy to study along with you. And I share on this channel the best success gems out of social psychology, so science-backed gems, how your brain actually memorizes quicker and also gets fluent quicker. So my aim on this channel is to have you speak with unshakable confidence in a real short period of time. So this video is also useful for those of you who have been now studying the target language for a number of years and you feel like, when is finally the moment coming when I can speak? And this will help you to change around one element in your study routine that might be missing from that discipline or from that repetitions that you have already installed. So let's dive straight in. Number one is actually you need to have short and intense repetitions in your study routine. By the way, this is helpful for both of you, for both types of learners, for autodidacts or for people who combine self-study with courses, or also for people who prefer language courses. It helps you to actually know what to focus on, what to prioritize in the way in which you study, and what to prioritize, let me say that, prioritize last. So in your short, intense repetitions every day, there needs to be relevance. The relevance to your real life is so important. So what do I mean by that? Relevance actually signals to your brain that this is important for your life. And so the memory boost in your brain will be switched on immediately once your brain realizes this is relevant to your real life. Oh my God, I need to memorize that. You will just so much quicker memorize stuff. So the quick, intense, everyday 5 minutes always as a principle needs to be related to past experiences or future experiences. So whenever you are in a course or whenever you are in self-study, ask yourself, how is this important to my life? If you're in a course and the topic that is chosen, you might be conversing with your teacher and say, could we, in the next lesson, maybe treat another topic that is more relevant to my life? Or you could ask yourself, okay, I've just had a lesson on how, I don't know, car mechanics is expressed in the target language, and you don't have any car mechanics in your life. You might be asking yourself, okay, I could tweak this in such a way that it's about driving a car, because you might be driving a car. So you need to make it relevant to what you need to express in your real life. And my hack for this, so that you give the signal to your brain, this is really important for your life, is to think of past experiences. So let's stay with that car mechanics. I would then think, when did I have last time an experience in a garage, I don't know, for repair work or maintaining my car? What did I say? What was the conversation about? Okay, how would I say this in the target language? And if you didn't have past experience, you might say, okay, when is the next time I have any kind of situation related to a car? So that it becomes relevant, and that also you have a real situation where you then think, okay, I just mastered that in my usual language. In my target language, how would I say that? You need to have really relevance to your life. Otherwise, your brain will go on passive study mode, which is, that's interesting information, but it doesn't concern me. So it kind of gets categorized in your brain for less important and will not be memorized. Actually, your brain is constantly kind of selecting information for relevance. Is it crucially important to survive? Is it really relevant to your life, as in it's your hobby, it's your past, is your passe-temps, it is something that you enjoy reading about or talking about? And your brain needs to do this. This is a basic survival instinct, right? That's the social psychology behind it. If your brain doesn't filter information for relevance, you will just go into information overflow. So this is why when learning a language, it needs to be relevant to your life. And if you're saying, yeah, but for me, it's only relevant for work and I don't really enjoy that topic, then link it to something else that you are enjoying. So, for example, your favorite hobby. I don't know, if you are into gardening, for example, and you wish to know, okay, how does changing the flower pot, how is that being expressed in the target language? Then choose that instead of going into a topic that is not really of interest to you. It needs to be of relevance. So that is number one. And as I said, short, intense practice sessions. That leads us to number two, which is the short, intense repetitions that you have every day need to be accompanied by immersion. And immersion is not equal to moving country. You need moving country actually doesn't guarantee you immersion. It has nothing to do with it. Immersion means immersing you or creating a context that is really rich in the target language. So, meaning you need to have several things tweaked in your environment. For example, you can put post-its on objects around you in the target language with the name on it, so you see that all the time. You can, whenever you travel, you can have your navigator switched on the target language. You can switch your phone language into the target language. You can consume all the different applications you use in your target language, and so on and so forth. Also, in my daily routine, I have at least one, I don't know, 1 minute to 2 minutes of immersion in a podcast or something that I want to learn about currently in the target language. So when I search for new information on something that I'm learning in my life in general, I say, oh, let's use that as an opportunity to actually watch that in the target language. So passive consumption of information, or whenever I do a research, I'd rather do that in the target language now than in the usual language. So I have the benefit of learning some new structures, or kind of exposing myself constantly to the language. So this immersion is actually creating a target language rich context for you. And again, it needs to be relevant to your life. And number three is also very important for signaling your brain that this is really important to your life. It needs to be mistake rich. Your context needs to be full of mistakes in the new language, because these mistakes drive home to your brain that this matters to your life. And whatever is kind of in a sense making context where your brain says, oh God, this matters to my life, you will memorize quicker. So, and the bonus would be even if you make these mistakes in the presence of others, because then social interaction kicks in, and social interaction always is important to your brain. So that would be even more reinforcing memory. For me, mistakes, you have probably watched my previous videos with ChatGPTs. I loved ChatGPT for that, or any other AI tool that allows me to do mistakes with artificial intelligence. And then I can move on comfortably to do these mistakes in real life and ask my conversation partner to please correct me so I learn quicker. Any mistake you do, and in my previous video, I talked about also labeling that experience differently because mistake is a very negative word. It's something that we borrow from mathematics, from physics, where there is right and wrong. But in language use and learning with the aim for fluency, there is no such thing as right and wrong. It's only an experience. And if you tell yourself, okay, I have to have this experience-rich environment where I constantly say something that actually then can be corrected, then you set yourself up for rich experiences in the new language, and you set your brain up for this is really important, and therefore the brain will memorize. And if you have watched my previous video on joyful practice and repetitions and joyful discipline, this actually also means whenever your brain switches to positive emotion, you will think, okay, this was really fun last time, and we laughed so much at my mistake last time. I had so much joy, let's do that again. So you don't run into the classic procrastination, into the overwhelm, into that feeling of obligation, of just feeling like you want to give up. And these are all those feelings, those negative feelings that usually let us abandon a task and let us abandon something because it doesn't feel good. So the social psychology of discipline is actually, it basically tells you whenever you install a study routine, you need to closely watch yourself. Whatever brings you joy, whatever brings you relevance to your real life, whatever brings you high importance to your real life will be memorized so much faster. And this is why children within 2 years, they start speaking, because 2 years of relevance to communicate to their parents is actually driving home to the brain, okay, I need this for survival, so I need to memorize it. As soon as your brain realizes, that's actually information you don't really need, it will not be memorized. And so what I recommend to you is also, if you're going on a language course, filter the kind of experiences you will have in those language course for those criteria. Ask, maybe before signing up for a language course, ask the person who's organizing how much element of role play will be there, how will be ensured that you get a lot of speaking routine in the course, how will be the element of creating that psychologically safe environment where you can laugh a lot. Ask for that. If the teacher or the responsible of the course is aware of that, that's a brilliant sign, because then you can feel safe to make a lot of mistakes, to practice, to role play with the other participants. And also ask, obviously, when you enroll in a course, say to them that your aim is fluency, that you want to get speaking really fast. If you sign up for a course where the aim is, different, where you want to analyze the language or get into the grammar perfection, that is also, of course, it has the right to exist. I'm not saying it's bad, but if your aim is fluency, you need to watch out for these elements. It's really crucial. I shared also in my previous video my personal experience with learning my languages, and the first study system I was using was a scholarly system for English, and that was very much focused on grammar correction and grammar perfection. This is very important for example, if you aim for a professional career in your language, you need to have grammar perfection, of course. But if your aim is speaking, interacting in the target language, it is kind of moving to the background. It has a little bit less priority than just looking for grammar perfection. Grammar perfection has one side effect, which is it creates those stale, not really motivating experiences that if you're not motivated intrinsically, it will drive home to your brain that this is not joyful. So you always need to kind of be true to yourself. What is your objective first? Speak about that to the language teacher and also clarify what are the elements of repetition, of practice, and how can you link them. And if they're not linked in the course to your real life, you need to then figure out in your personal study routine at home, how can you link them to your real life and to your interests. So drop me a comment as always. I would love to learn from you how you ensure that the target language becomes relevant to your real life, how you create those immersion contexts, and let me know also what brings you joy in language learning. And as always, I invite you also to visit my website to download the study routine plan I have online. And if you haven't yet, of course, I have the Everyday Nano method online, which brings you all those social psychological gems that you can use to have that mindset of getting fluent really quickly. So thanks so much for watching today and see you in the next video.